folks, so this is an exciting video, a bit of a trip down memory lane and an introduction to a car I've had for a couple of months now, but I've not made a video about it. I tried to do a video on the way back from a couple of days after fetching it, one of the first drives I'd had in the car, but the sound was just too poor to use, so I thought I'd make a bit of a quick vid now before any work in earnest starts on the car. So you can probably see behind me a CRX. So Dan and I had a few of these as we were growing up, I guess, through university. We had CRXs, Minis beforehand, and then we moved on to the Hondas and the CRXs. Most of the CRXs we had were Mighty D powered, they were D16s, but we each had one B series car as well. Dan's was an SIR, and mine was a UK VT. Now, as you can see, this is an SI, so it's a Japanese import in lovely Torino red. This was the colour that I always wanted, but I never owned a Torino red CRX before now. As you'll probably be able to see from some video clips, I've already changed the wheels. They came on some generic Volk C28 copies, and I've popped some OZ Superleggeras on. Nice period wheel, really. Certainly a period wheel for when we had CRXs and when we were busy modifying them. So lots of the really cool cars that we liked from the CRX UK forum had those wheels at the time. So a nice wheel to put on this car. So the car's actually modified a little bit. It's on teen coilovers, fairly basic coilovers, but they are adjustable in terms of both height and damping. So it's got the adjustable coilovers, it's got all sorts of other adjustment available to it in terms of geometry in the suspension. One thing that isn't upgraded are the brakes. It's on the standard SI brakes. I think they're 240mm and perhaps could do with an upgrade there. Inside it's not untidy, but equally it's not a minter. There's a few trims missing. The coin tray there, the ashtray or personal box not there, and there's a pocket missing in the back as well. This seat's got a hole as well, so we'll see if we can improve upon that. But it's a CRX, and it's a great place to be, having spent so much of our times as young men in them. Brings back a lot of memories. An ITR 96 spec, I think, steering wheel, which will soon disappear. No room in the back. There never was any room in the back there. Importantly for me, lovely tin top. Never owned a tin top, always wanted to. And no rust on the rear arches, which is a very nice thing, having had a few rusty ones. So it says SI, and it is an SI chassis. but it's got a dirty B series in it. It's got a VTEC. As you can see, the engine bay It's probably about the worst part of the car. It's not terribly rusty, it's just untidy. Those little radiator brackets are rusty, but it's largely okay. It's just cosmetically it needs a good tidy up, probably a bit of a respray in places, a new cam cover certainly, and there are 1 or 2 leaks which I'll sort out with some new gaskets and seals. As you can see, it's got the I think they're Hasport mounts, and it's of course hydro converted, so that's a Y21 box. It's a B16A1 engine, so being hydro swapped, it's got the slightly shorter final drive than a CRX would normally have with a B series, so a little bit peppier, goes a little bit better. And I must say it's quite a strong engine. It must be something good about it. It is mapped and everything, so it should be doing fairly well. But it does pull pretty damn well for a B16 CRX. It's exactly the same pace in a straight line as the Clio 200 over there, which, whilst not being the fastest thing, is not a massive slouch. So, and it's certainly the Clio has outperformed some CRXs on track, so the fact that this can stick with one is a good sign that things are all good with it, and it doesn't burn masses of oil, which is a bit of a rarity for a B. So plans for this car, as you can perhaps see, already started accumulating some parts in there, and plenty more inside. We're not going to do loads with it. It's a fairly decent car as it is. Just some tidying up, lots of tidying up under the engine bay. We'll address the brakes because they are a real weak link with modern traffic and modern performance. The tyres really are a weak link, so keen to improve those. The interior will get a spruce up. We've already changed the wheels. Probably raise the rear just a touch. Bit of nose down rake as opposed to what it's got at the moment, which is probably a little bit lower at the rear than the front. We'll put some standard mirrors on. I think these may actually be genuine spoon mirrors, but I'm not entirely sure. Had quite a few JDM trinkets on it, so perhaps those will be replaced with OEM ones. That is a genuine chase racing lip, which is somewhat bizarre. So there we go, a bit of an introduction to the CRX, a bit of the history about us having owned them before, and I'll be sure to make some more videos as I improve it slowly but surely, but for the time being, here it is.